From the Short Conversation. I'm your host, Too Short. I got some guests here with me today, and we're finna dive in and see what he got going on, all the positivity that he doing out here. T-Mac, shed some light on it.
What's up, family, man? First and foremost, man, you know, I'm just my first time pulling up on you, man. It took me 20 months, you know what I'm saying, to get back on the ground and see you, man. Last time I saw you, you know, you was being immediately released out of Yazoo City, you know what I'm saying? So that's a hell of an experience, you know what I'm saying? I love to guest your show just with a recap of it, man, you know what I'm saying? How we walked that compound and you was litigating, trying to get that license up off your back, man, and laws broke in your favor, but you had to litigate, put the motion in, anticipation came, you know what I'm saying? We walking around nervous, you know what I'm saying, trying to get there to see what the results gonna be. But you know what I'm saying, you was in your zone, Joe. You know what I'm saying? While your motion was still pending, man, the man went to the compound, got all the guys together, just like must have just felt the ghost, you know what I'm saying? Gave all his property away, just knew. He waiting for the ruling, but just knew, you know what I'm saying, that it was his time. You see what I'm talking about? Gave all his property away, and lo and behold, you know what I'm saying? He get the lawyer called, and man, they finna kick him up out of it. He got immediate release, but it was on a Friday, so he had to stay on the compound for the weekend. You know what I'm saying? Immediate release. You know what I'm saying? Immediate release.
Couldn't even sleep. That
weekend. That's you know what I'm talking about? So that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's a good thing. My name Playboy James, and I'm just happy to see my man Short Home and T-Mac at the same time. It's a blessing when you believe in what you know, and that's what made him say, man, you know what, I ain't gonna doubt what God got for me. Y'all can have this for y'all. Y'all gonna be here. I'm leaving, and I gotta go somewhere else. Yeah. What I'm gonna get when I go there is gonna be better than what I got right here, because I got motion now. You know, so yeah, that's the blessing in it all. So that's a good thing.
Ain't no question.
So tell us about, you know what I'm saying, your book and all the things you got going on.
Okay, well, you know, this Message to the Street was my movement that I kicked off back in Terre Haute, you know what I'm saying, fresh off into the dive. We started the bid. I got my 35 years. I went to Terre Haute. Boom, getting there with all the homies. That was our backyard. That's the Midwest backyard. So, you know what I'm saying, off the bubble, I knew that all these heavyweights in one building, man, we had to do more than just regulating the prison yard. You know what I'm saying? So early in my bit, you know what I'm saying, many brothers could attest that was doing a bit with me. I was always in the library trying to figure out a way to leverage all these heavyweights in one building. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, man, I was always like, man, we gonna do, man. I know we all walking around with all this time, but guys coming in, we going out on our way out, we on the phone, they on visit. It's something we need to be doing while we all under this roof together. I know we going through the federal journey and these atrocities with these crazy, you know what I'm saying, sentences, but we always been under that type of threat being from the city, you know what I'm saying, and being plugged and being affiliated like we is, you know what I'm saying? So I was always, you know what I'm saying, at the forefront, man, we got to be putting something on the streets. And that led to me naming my book, Message to the Street. You know what I'm saying? This is a project that I started back in Terre Haute, Indiana, in the pen with my guys, you know what I'm saying? And I was inspired by the guys, like I just said, but I knew God ain't put all these heavyweights under one roof for nothing.
But this, I got a question.
Go ahead.
And this is real talk. Like, everything you saying is dead on point. But what we gotta understand is, even though you got a message, how could you take your message and put your message into somebody else wanting to birth them a message?
Ain't no question. So this is what I do. The Message to the Street was the first idea. I gotta say something to the streets. And originally it was the guys. But as I started doing my time and traveling all over, getting spread all over the country, I realized that the guys from Chicago was pretty much the vanguards for the whole country with being the oil. I understood that on a national level, when you in the feds and you see how every other state mimicking the folks, the Vice Lords, the Stones, the King. So I used to be like, just want to talk back to the streets where we from, but as I started taking my journey throughout the federal system, I understood now how we impacted the entire country. So instead of just the lords and the folks, now it's just the streets now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody in the streets, and even though the folks and the lords and the kings, we kind of sprinkled across the nation a little bit everywhere. But even when we ain't sprinkled, our leadership, our example, being organized and having a structure, you know what I'm saying? That come from us. We got to own that.
Right.
So that gave me like a responsibility to try to be figuring out some type of way and lead the charge and just put, everybody got a message. You know what I'm saying? I just put mine in the book. You know what I'm saying? And trying to get more. You can, if your message just to your child, if your message just to your community, to your sister, a message is a message, because when you under the pressure that we was under, that's when God can talk to you and guide you and lead you. A lot of times you on the street running around getting money and doing your thing, you might have the potential, but God, you ain't realizing your potential because you chasing.
Right.
And when you get set down and get life sentence, get 30, 40 years, get put in them violent situations, now your hidden abilities get a chance to germinate, you know what I'm saying, unfold, evolve, you know what I'm saying? So I understood that early on in my bit, and I just thought, man, we got to get back to the street. We got to get to the street. It came in a book form, my book form, but in many ways, this is my form of getting back, using my time to get in tune with a potential message and document it where I can use it like an instructional manual, you know what I'm saying?
But this is another thing. I want to ask Short this.
Go ahead.
Short, even though you knew and everybody else knew about you, the young generation don't know you. That's the other part. That's why I'm asking him about, even though when you trying to sell a message or give a message, because in the book he trying to sell the message. So for you, it's like people don't know you. Like people that we know, he know you, I know you, and all the people that we came up with know you. But to get to the kids and the stuff that we doing right now, this is a young person sport. So this sport right here is more so like, what could Short do to make the understanding where a person can say, damn, I identify with Short, versus saying I identify with Tupac?
See, I'm an observer for one. When I come to present around people, I'm gonna observe them first. I'm gonna listen to how they talk, listen to what they talking about. Then I'm gonna try to let them know that I'm paying attention. You know, then I'm give them a little talk. You know, let them feel me out at the same time. You know, and my thing is that I'm not out here trying to tell nobody nothing. I'm gonna give you lived experience, what I've been through, the challenges I done faced, and I'm gonna share that with you. You can do what you want with it. It's up to you to make that decision, and that's how we all gotta do. We can't come out here and try to tell them nothing, cause they just like we was back in the days. And people, I mean, we had community structure. I call it community structure because it helps people to understand that certain things you shouldn't be doing. You shouldn't be moving a certain way. It keeps you in. We need that in our community. Right. All this trauma and drama that we go through in life, you need that community structure. Not no other type of structure, but community structure, where certain things shouldn't be allowed. Certain things you shouldn't do.
That's the reason why I asked that question, because when a person have never heard you speak, they only heard the stories of you. It's almost like you was Ghost before Ghost.
Correct.
You know, before 50 Cent made the movie, you was Ghost before Ghost. So when a person see you, you don't look like what people hyped you up to be. So it's like, even when you said you ain't Lil James no more, you Big James. No, I'm still Lil James, because if I say Big James, they want to try me. So I'm just gonna say Lil James. So when I say Short and a person don't know you, they like, hold on, man. But had they been in our day or in prison and you say Short, they gonna say which Short? You gonna say Too Short from Chicago. And if a person say the rapper, they gonna say he don't know what he talking about. But no, Too Short. So then they already knew, like, we know you a diplomatic person, but I just asked that question. So any other challenges that a child or a shorty might have, he might be a mild-mannered person. Just like that story you gave me. You said, man, when you first came home, you didn't know all these little kids was carrying guns.
No.
And it shocked you, because the little boy looked it like a little boy. And he wasn't a little boy no more. He really had to carry a weapon in Chicago. Yeah. And he was 13, and it shocked you. Because you've never been that type of person.
No.
It was certain people that carry guns in our day. We knew he knocked people out. He shoot people. He steal cars. He's an auto boy. He liked to pickpocket. Everybody had a role. but every role is in one person now.
Right.
And that's why I asked that question of you.
Check my strategy. In addition to my message to the street, like you said, you talking about the book and then moving into where it's having an effect on the ground with the people.
Yes.
So as I get the book that was created in the jail, now how do you take this book and translate the book into some type of action that has some type of effect?
The only way you gonna transfer this into some action, you got to go to a lot of free speaking engagements.
Now watch this, which brings me to my next movement attached to this. So I launched the Apology to the Youth Tour.
Right.
See, Apology to the Youth Tour is me about not what I'm doing. Like I say, before I can even introduce a book or anything I done did come from prison, I recognize the damage because we've been inside them Desmond Chris and we had watched the youngsters come in. So we had a better chance to try to get a feel for my last 2 years I spent inside the MCC building because I had to come back when I gave 9.5 years. So I was in a joint, I come back to the building and everybody fresh in there. I'm seeing all of the little lords, the little folks, the little beady, everybody they shorty. So I had 2 years doing COVID just wait like, whoa. You know what I'm saying? Get it up close. I'm talking about I'm up close. I'm on AK. I'm right there on the dorms with them like, whoa. Listening to them. They asking for help for this, but that's why they asking to help me and engaging with me. I'm trying to learn them. You see what's up here, right? So one thing I learned, you know what I'm saying, which helps my movement is, man, I ain't trying to talk about nothing I'm doing. First thing I'm doing when I talk to a young, hey man, first of all, let me apologize, little brother. You know what I'm saying? Let me apologize in the name of everybody my age.
And I just want to say this, and I don't want to cut you off.
That's it.
You did the right thing because you didn't say I'm sorry. Don't never speak ill will on their life. You said apologize. So I just wanted to commend you on that. I wanted to commend you on that.
And I just let you know how I've been really thinking, trying to have a strategy to be effective. So I come in the door. You got the fault. Don't talk about judging. Don't you try to correct. Don't you say nothing. You know why? Because the condition they in. That's my humble approach. I approach the streets, the game, and everything. They're my babies, man. They wild because of what we didn't do, what we failed to do. Before I start talking about some book I wrote, trying to give myself praise and praising this man. First of all, I see any young, hey, look, brother, in the name of the other older brothers that left it in the condition that y'all got it, man, we apologize, bro. I apologize for not being the leader I'm supposed to be. I apologize for being fanatical about chasing material things, chasing chasing the big bucks, glorifying, you know what I'm saying, just fanatical about hustling with not conscious of who watching me and how my neglect or my selfish ways or my fanatical pursuit to get money, them shorties that's on the sideline watching us pursue it. We left them. We failed them. They there in that condition with the pistols like little kids for what we failed to do. You see what I'm saying? So before I talk about anything, bruh, I just been gone for 24 years, man. Man, I apologize, man, for what I failed to do. And I hope after I apologize, if you just watch my work, you will see that I'm trying to put my apology in action. I know that one apology don't fix it. But I'm gonna constantly give my apology, and I'm gonna constantly be about the work. And if you see my word matching my apology, then perhaps something I say, you might take something and consider it. I'm talking about extreme humility. You know what I'm talking about? That's how much I love the shorty. That's how much I realize how we failed them. That's how much I realize the domino effect of our ways. The things that we started in action that rolled into the shorties. That's in existence now because of what we failed to do. So that's my campaign before we even get to the book. Man, I apologize. Every time I get a mic, every time you push the phone up, open that thing. Man, we apologize to the youth, man. Somebody go find a shorty and apologize to them. You know what I'm saying? Y'all walking around like they created themselves. You know, you acting like they did the streets the way they did, or they in the way because they did. That's them. Is we crazy? Them our shorties.
Right.
We created the environment. We created the ways. We created it in the music. We created it in the movies. We created it on the blocks. We created it everything you see they doing. It's just an exaggerated version of what we left for, man.
Yeah, and
you understand what I'm saying?
That's why I be asking Short questions. And Short, like, he ain't never lied though. Short is a person that's diplomatic in the way of he gonna listen. Right. And a person really think they got Short. Like when they talk to him, and this is what old player, rest in peace, old man Sam. Rest in peace, old man Sam. An old player said this. He said, man, never let a person talk to you in your face because when you look at him,
Right.
he think he got you.
Right.
See, Short is backwards with it.
Right.
Short gonna look at you when he talking to you,
Right.
and you think you got him. So when you told that 80% of a lie,
Right.
Short already know that's 80% of a lie, and the 20% on the end of what he about to tell me is the truth.
Okay.
So when people came and talked to Short, they walked away saying, "I got him. He believed that." And then Short talk to the person that's left behind,
Right.
and be like, "Hey man, ain't none of that right. So
Ain't none
whatever
of it.
y'all gonna do it. I ain't got nothing to do with that, because he lied to me in my face." So
Yeah.
that's the reason why I asked the questions I
feel you.
asked, because
I feel
a
you.
lot of them never wanted to grow up how we grew up. And this is why I tell people, and I ain't lying, and on God,
Right.
these are the three sides of Chicago sitting in front of us right now.
Right.
You got gangster, you got another gangster, but from the streets.
Right.
Now, the reason why I say gangster,
Right.
because nobody knew him.
Right.
From the streets,
Right.
they knew you.
Right.
Player, they don't know how players really move.
Right.
But he have player in him,
Right.
you got player in you,
Right.
I got gangster in me.
Say that.
So that's why I tell people it's three sides to Chicago,
Say
homie.
that.
But when you meet a player's gonna be always internationally liked by everybody in the city.
what's up.
And they gonna respect you, because your work ethic gonna always show. Because when I was a shorty coming up, they always knew one thing about me. I don't care about what they got going on. I'ma mind my business.
Say that.
But at the end of the day, hearing what you said and knowing who Short is, I understand that the kids don't even understand. Like on the west side, they respect their elders.
Right.
South side, they don't care about what you did last week. You got to do that still today. They will murder you today because you ain't who you was when they left off what they remembered. And they would try to say to themselves, they would kill you for the notoriety of knocking you off
Right.
and saying that they done it. See, that's the thing that I want Short to understand.
See, I like the fact that a lot of people don't know me face to face. They
Right.
heard stories about me.
Right.
So when I'm first sitting around them, they just normally talking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, looking at me like,
Right.
"Oh man, this dude a nobody."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then when they finally find out, you know who that was, right? Oh, him? He was like one of us.
Say
I am one of y'all.
See,
Right. And that's why I just said what I said, because no matter where I go, my homies in LA, my homies in Atlanta, my homies in Texas or in Houston, everywhere. Same homies I got, you got. So at the end of the day, they call me on crazy shit. "Hey man, why they killing all them little girls?" Them little girls is gangster, nigga. It's different in Chicago.
right.
And then they ask me, "Are you all right?" Am I all right? I'm from here. I know how to move. I'm gonna have to ask you that when you come here.
Right.
So you might go to King Von Mural and take a picture and get robbed. You wasn't supposed to be over there. You know what I'm saying? So it's different strokes for different folks. But when people meet people like you, him, or me, they more so feel like, okay, I don't know him, but I know him. But that's how I was raised. When I know you, I'm gonna speak to you. I don't know your friend. Now, when I leave, you tell your friend about me. Now, when your friend identified, like, "Oh, okay, man, because I felt some kind of way, he didn't shake my hand." No, it don't go like that in Chicago. I don't know how he know you, and I don't know what you might be into. That's the rules these kids don't have. And the reason why it's our fault, and that's why he apologizing, is because one thing about when we came up, you had to have something inside of you that was reminiscent of the person that's standing in front of you, that he can identify with and say, that's a player. I like that about him. They don't have that. What they have is they little homies. They ain't even in the game no more. They little homie. If Lil Rico die, this block is our block or Rico block.
Correct.
That's who they listen to. But Rico grew up watching one of us.
Right.
But he never told them about us. He mimicked it and made it seem like it was his ideas, his ideologies, his beliefs, and everything. But he never told them about us. So that's the reason why these podcasts and these things right here allows them to understand that, damn, who is Buddy from Chicago? Who is Buddy from Chicago? And who is Buddy from Chicago? And then when they ask, they going to be like, man, them real people. And that's why I told you, everything we do is going to be scrutinized And then when people facts check it and look it up, they're gonna say those people are 1,000, not 100, 1,000.
1,000. That's the business. And see, that's we come from a system like the federal system where you had to walk the compound, you had to have your paperwork. You know what I'm talking about? Your paperwork, it don't tell you everything, but it's a damn good start. That's what we used to say.
Yes, it is.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes,
so
it
the
is.
same thing, we got to go into these spaces with the same intensity that the people that's perpetrating the fraud in them spaces. You know what I'm saying? We have to. And if we don't, it's our fault. They saturate because we be under the old law. Man, we know this is unfamiliar ground for dudes that's been raised like we've been raised.
Right.
I mean, we still timidly getting in front of the mic. Like, we cool, though? Like,
I was saying, what you talking about timid? When I came home, people was like, they said, man, like, my life is so private to the point when they seen I had a Facebook page, people was like, man, is you all right?
See?
Oh, what you mean am I all right?
Man,
no, I'm good.
listen.
Then when they see me talking in front of a microphone or sitting in my car talking, they say, man, I think that nigga on drugs, man. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it's really different. We have to, like I told my homies that came home that didn't even know how to work an iPhone.
Right.
Man, I like Androids, but they gave me so many iPhones, I passed them to my kids.
Right.
But I had to get one because they got FaceTime and they don't have the apps to get to my Android. But we have to get acclimated with the new way. Right. The old way, we gonna be lost. You know how many people that I know don't know how to work a bank account?
I know a lot.
Man, I'm talking about really.
I know a lot.
Man, I showed my homie, I said, man, here goes some money for you. He said, man, that's a card. Man, I said, man, it's $6,000 on that card, dog.
Say that.
I got your credit together when you came home,
Right.
and I gave you this card. This is where the money at.
Right.
He said, man, on here? I said, yeah. I said, man, you know what? It was really my fault. That's why he went broke so fast. Okay. I didn't show him what to do the rest of the way. He messed his credit up. He pulled up on me in the new Benz. He said, man, I went to the lot. No money down. Man, I can do what I want to do. I said, man, hold on. You just got that and you only got $6,000 in the bank.
Come on, man.
How did you come up with a job and all that? He said, man, I had a girl. She put the paperwork together for me. I said, man, no, dog.
Okay.
Your credit was supposed to be good so you could buy you some property and learn how to leverage the property and do that over again. Right. But I didn't tell him. So that's why I applaud you on what you did. Right. Me, I'm thinking like, let me give him this and I can keep moving. Ooh. And you can't do that. No. He didn't know how to work a phone. See. He didn't know how to work the cards. He didn't know how to do nothing. But he just loved being in that car. Now he knew how to work the camera. He worked that camera. He worked that camera, boy.
Say that.
Yeah.
Say that.
And another thing that, we have to walk the walk that we say we walking. You can't be trying to get somebody to look up to you and you doing almost the same thing they doing. Cause now ain't no respect there. How you gonna try to get me to do something positive and you still doing this?
Ain't no question.
You gotta stay positive. You gonna catch me the same way every time you see me.
There it is.
And that's why I don't, man.
Even I can be mad, I could be stressed out, I can be anything.
Life.
You gonna catch the same thing. That's how I was the whole time in there.
Real
I
talk.
walked around the compound smiling.
Real talk.
That's how you was on the streets.
That's what I'm saying. I don't change up. I don't switch up. The only way I switch up is if you made me switch up. You had to make that.
That's right.
But this is the other part. That's that part. That's the part I'm talking about. Hell no. We got to talk about that part because see, that's the way with the shorties respect. Right. You can't. How could you talk to little Mook that's a killer being short? Right. That short ain't short right now.
Right.
We need short to be ghosts right now.
Right.
So when he ghosts and you do something crazy and he had to show up, I can't talk to you no more, little homie.
Right.
You did something. And it's a whole nother look you get when he turned to ghost. So at the end of the day, that's what I'm saying. So when Lil Shorty's them meet him and then they see him on that other side when he had that conversation with him, it's more so like, yeah, I seen how they moved all in one unison when that other face happened.
Ain't no question.
And he didn't say a word.
Ain't no question.
That's what I know about Short. Short ain't gonna say a word. Now, if he sits somewhere and he ain't said nothing the whole time,
right.
all you motherfuckers lying.
Say that.
He ain't gonna say one word.
Right.
And he got one motherfucker that know that face. and everything going
There
wrong.
it is.
Man, shit. That's why I tell people you need to know your history, boy. Because you never understood like what you understood when you sat in that prison cell and you seen all the heavyweights.
Right.
And for people out there in TV land don't know nothing about heavyweights, that's a Chicago talk. That means all the history of what make things go up and down at the same time. So you said to yourself, man, I gotta find a way to make something happen because this is all history.
Ain't no question.
But shorties on our side, which is the South Side, don't care about history.
Right.
The West Side do.
Right.
The South Side don't care about history. They going off right now because we damaged so much of the South Side to the point where the South Side is always got a point to prove.
Right.
It's a point to be made. So you can't tell Lil Mook Mook that's a killer, but you looking at him as a shorty and tell him, hey man, pull your pants up. This, that, and the third. He gonna say, who is he talking to? Right. Before he get to ask you anything about anything else, he shooting you.
Exactly.
West Side person, he know you must be somebody because you on this block. And ain't nobody said nothing to you, and they all respect you, so let me respect you. So that's the difference between West Side and South Side, and that's the reason why our children on the South Side, we can't really save them, but we can help them. And that's what you trying to do.
Exactly.
Because saving them is something like how a woman to be. She might want to be out there, she don't need you to save her, but she ain't got to that point where she done sat down and talked to God. And that's something you said.
Exactly.
And that's something I know.
Exactly.
God had to separate me and put me in prison to show me my real worth. And one thing about Short, he didn't have to go to prison to be that person. He went to prison, and I thank God that he went to prison. To tell you this one thing, he saved a lot of people in prison. Because motherfuckers knew him. And they was able to say, you know what, man, I can talk to Short, man. Because even when they ain't got no help, they got help in Short. Short can be like, hey, man, buddy ain't on that. Man, y'all just, it's a misunderstanding. And they gonna listen. So you got to understand, faith ain't about being comfortable. You can't have faith and be comfortable. He couldn't just be on the streets and be comfortable. His faith had to go be tested. He had to go. That's why he was able to say, what I'm gonna keep this stuff, I'm gonna get this to y'all. And still had a week there with nothing and was happy with that.
Pete.
That's how it go.
Listen, man, inside the joint, we created something known now as the coalition. And the coalition, if people really investigate the coalition, it really got started because the guys, we call the guys, the folks, the Lord, the city, you know what I'm saying, the guys plug, we really never had no problem. We knew how to, no matter where we drive, we know what to do, let the lick read. We assemble like Voltron. We know what it is. But other cars, other cities, other states were being preyed on by the DC guys. You know what I'm saying? They was savagery up in there. They was putting that pressure on them. You know what I'm saying?
Listen.
So we created look how it look. We the vanguard to show you. We naturally understood that, man, we righteous. We got both of the 5 and the 6. Got that love in there. 5 and a 6 1-star.
Yeah, but both that's how it all happened with the main 21.
You see what I'm talking about? But my point is, we on the compound on a national level. We got ourselves straight, but we watching these other guys from the East prey on other Midwestern states. You know what I'm saying? So we assemble and sit down, found the guys in other states, and got an understanding where they're going to be responsible for, you know what I'm saying, checking all their guys, make sure they paperwork clean. We'll put them up under the coalition, but here goes on the house rules. You know, we don't be gambling. We ain't on that other, the homosexual, different stuff we be putting out there that if you want to be under
no, you telling the truth. That's what DC boys on.
There it is. So my point I'm saying is that example. Let's
clarify that.
Okay,
you got to.
It is some good ones.
Yeah, it is. It is some good ones. Yes, it is.
You talking about DC?
Yeah.
No, it's some good ones in DC.
You know,
but you
over time, it was a mutual understanding.
Ain't no question.
You know, everybody just deal with your own people.
Exactly.
You know? And
exactly.
That's the best way to go because one person just shouldn't send up a whole yard.
Exactly.
One person did something wrong and sending up the whole yard.
Ain't no question.
Same thing happened on the street. One person, that's how it should be. Don't let one person be the cause of 10 people getting shot.
Ain't no question. Ain't no
somebody mama, somebody daughter. It don't make sense.
No,
if y'all out in these streets, you shouldn't bring none of that around your family.
Real talk.
If you in the streets.
Ain't no question.
But sure, they don't see it like that though.
No, that's why I'm just talking to you.
Right.
I'm saying you should.
Right.
It's a point in your life, like I had to do. It took me to get in prison to look a little deeper and learn things about myself, things that I didn't like, or heard people say, well, you did this to me, you did that. Same thing like, you know, one girl hurt my feelings. After that, I'm not giving my heart to nobody. That's why I got 9 baby mamas. You know what I'm saying? And I was wrong for that. Because if you looking for love, you gotta open up. Everybody may not be worthy of it.
Yes, indeed.
But you can't stop. You gotta open your heart to the people you choose to deal with, or you shouldn't deal with them at all. If you want to deal with them, open it up to see who that person is. Get to know that person. If that's not the person, don't shut it. Hey, I gave you your shot. You matched up a good person. You could have just had a good man or a good woman.
Say that.
Yeah,
You matched that up.
absolutely right.
Period.
Go to the next. And I ain't saying you got to keep going down the line. At some point, you may say, let me take a back seat. I'm going to wait a while. Wait till God send him, you know?
Man, listen, that's you ain't said nothing that was wrong at no point, because even the youth that he trying to reach, I'm trying to reach, and you trying to reach, they don't know love.
Right.
Correct.
They don't know love. And the love that they think they know, they only got love of friends. And they friends shape everything about them. Like my son, even when I tell him, hey son, listen, you know your daddy is one of the flyest dudes, so I can get you together. But then it take his girlfriend to see me and be like, why you don't listen to your father? Your father know how to dress. Right. And then he wishing me dead for my watches. I said, son, I ain't gotta die for you to wear my watch, son. You can wear it right now. You know what I'm saying? So why'd you always talk about when I die? You know what I'm saying? So she and he understand that he only got love for his peers. We never grew up like that. We never had love for our peers because we already knew half of them wasn't even on the thought process of what we was on. We messed with who we messed with, and we had love for those people because we already know that he ain't about to go do nothing stupid. And then we do got that homie that's gonna go do something stupid, but we already know he ain't gonna go too far. Now they go far. Yeah. You say something on Instagram or TikTok about their friend, they pulling up to your crib and shooting the crib up.
Right.
So that generation and our generation, it's gonna always be a collide because they gonna look at us as old heads. They gonna say, man, what old head talking about, or what he talking about, what Unc talking about, you know? So that is the thing that we got a problem on. Our problem is they only identify with people that's doing what they doing at that present moment. And talking to them will be like, man, buddy, talk too much, man, what he on? Then you got that young boy that you talking to him, he ready to kill you because he don't want to hear you. He like, man, because you got him feeling some kind of way. And he don't want to feel like that. Right. So his emotions is because he been with his mom. These boys been raised by their moms. So men, we have emotions to understand a woman when she get emotional. So these little dudes are emotional. So you say something to them, they reacting and they snapping. Because I had to talk to a couple of them. And they was like, man, Playboy, you done did everything. No, I haven't. I'm still living, brother. I ain't did everything. I ain't got everything. And it's just like trying to make some money. People don't want to see you make no money because they think you got money. And you think I'm doing this for nothing? I didn't put the book out or did this for nothing. I'm doing it to make something so I can put it to something. Right. Everything that we did in Chicago, it really wasn't all on us, but it started with us. And I look at it that way because these little kids they ornery. They want it right now. They ain't waiting. So why would I wait when Buddy got it right now? I can go take it from Buddy and he know Buddy soft.
Check it out. I was bringing up the coalition. I want to just double back on that because the reason why I was mentioning the coalition, and I went to the construction of it, but when I left, when I finally got released, when I got back home in 23, you know what I'm saying, after my 24 years, I watched the coalition go from an idea that we wanted to do, and I watched it trim down. You know what I'm saying? When I say trim down, like I went from dudes enforcing it with like this or that to Joe, get him up out of here, woo, at the band. Like, you know, we was enforcing it with like the iron fence when we first implemented, but as the years leading to my release, I watched the lessons learned through implementing the coalition. You know what I'm saying? Be trimmed down to something more reasonable and effective. Even if it ain't nothing gonna get no results that you can applause. It's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? I said that because there's a lot of lessons that we can learn in implementing whatever program we implement individually or collectively. We learned a lot of jewels inside them prisons because that's pretty much what we was doing. We was kind of like keeping the guys together. Always getting a new wave of brothers coming in from the street, thinking they gun hole, thinking they this, thinking they something. And you know what I'm saying? And ones that want to try to undermine it, the ones on the sideline, that, you know what I'm saying, when they see us peacefully, you know what I'm saying, doing our thing on the compound, now they want to throw rocks and we have to come off the bench and, you know what I'm saying? So we learned so many lessons with the coalition. Again, being the vanguards, I believe, of the streets all over the country. It's a lot of valuable lessons, I think, learned with us putting down that coalition that continues to guide the prisons, the federal systems now. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of experience and we can use here on the street, being reasonable with our programs. We don't have no time to waste. We ain't, like you said, we ain't trying to go be sorry. We ain't finna go on no peace tour. We ain't do that in the joint. See, we know what works.
Peace only create violence.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We know what works. So again, we the vanguard. We got to start letting the people that's spending these millions and millions of dollars with these initiatives to bring the community. We got to broadcast our knowledge that we know. We did anything that you go do research on for 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you're an expert. And being an expert don't guarantee anything. It's just that we are expert in dealing with the youth, trying to organize in a regional capacity, keep men, not keep them peaceful and not killing each other, but we ain't calling it peace, but we know the methods and we know ways to work together. We know what has worked, what don't work. So again, I think that's something we need to put on the table because I think guys with that experience deserve to be fully funded like some of these chumps getting all this money ain't putting a dent in nothing. You know what I'm saying?
You know the killing part about that?
Go ahead.
They don't want peace.
Yeah, it is. Because it ain't
they don't
profitable.
want peace.
Right.
It's not profitable.
You right.
You got to understand, even the wars that's overseas,
I feel you.
They like the inner city wars better because
no
the inner city wars, they get to sell guns that's defective.
Period.
And you got to still protect yourself. Period. And you still got to understand that even with me going to Dallas, you don't even have to register for a FOIA card. You just got to be a citizen, and you can go straight to the store and buy you a gun and be straight. Okay. But here in Chicago, they send you through all these loopholes because everything is about money.
Everybody get everything.
Everything's about money, like the tags on our car,
more money,
the insurance.
Money.
Why am I paying insurance for what could happen? And then when it do happen, you got to call that person, and this got to call this person. So the person that hit my car would say, I ain't hit your car.
Right.
And then you saying he hit my car.
Right.
I got video and everything. He hit my car. Well, now they ain't going to answer their phone. Right. Now you call your company, and they saying, why you didn't call us immediately when this happened? So it's the same thing with the streets. Right. Why would little man go tell one of the big homies that you did something to him? Well, right now, he got a gun and a couple of homies that can go handle this right now. And they'll deal with big homies down the line. Big homie can't get them out of how they feel. Right. How could I tell little homie that because they killed your friend, it's going to be all right? Right. He don't have that. He grew up with his mom. Right. He's emotional. It's one-sided with emotional. One-sided means that what I think is what I'm going to do. Period. So that's what they going to do. So why would I step in there and go talk to him and then make myself the catalyst of saying, I want to help him? How could I help him when he keep on self-destructing? No, I know for me, I never had self-destruct on the street because I really grew up looking at real life. Period. I grew up round short. So for me, I already knew I gravitate towards wisdom. Period. And understanding. He had wisdom and understanding, so I can grow up and be wise. Period. I don't want to grow up and be a stupid person. So for me, that is what I noticed. They don't notice that. Okay. So now trying to say, little homie, don't go do that. Little homie like, man, y'all ain't see, they shot up the funeral with my homie in a casket, and now he gonna spin a block and go get buddy. And it's gonna keep on going. Gotcha. It's gonna keep on going. So that's why now they'll give you some money to go talk to little buddy. Right. Hoping little buddy hurt you. Now when little buddy hurt you, now all the people that you, just like Short said, he had to make an example of what he doing. Mm-hmm. How could I say I'm righteous, but I'm doing this? But it's something gonna test everything you say. Period. I tell everybody that in jail. Rest in peace, old man Sam, once again. Right. He said, kid, jail is where you gotta fight for every word, partner. Every word. So if you want to be, when you want to be tough, not if, when you want to be tough,
right. It's coming.
It's coming. Because you're going to have to go in there and fight for every word, boy. Yeah. I ain't talking about some words, half words.
Every word.
Every word. That's so that's why these shorties, when they do go to jail, they not ready to fight for every word. They ready to fight for every emotion. It's different. And now you become the prey. Period. Because now, homie, they gonna put you on a deck that you ain't got no help on, brother. Say that. So are you ready for that? Did you grow up with the right diplomatic people in your life to know how to stand on your manhood when it's about to get tested? Because if 3 dudes come in your room, ain't nothing you can do, brother. Even if 2 come, ain't nothing you can do. Ain't no talking to them. They already got in their mind what they want to do to you. But when you got people that respect you, that respect that they have and love that they have is the reason why people stand with you. Period. Even when you ain't around. Right. I had that visualization. Okay. Seeing him as a little boy growing up. And when people see me and be like, man, you 49 years old? Yeah, I'm 49. For sure. And I'm going to tell you, I'm 49 and don't nothing hurt and everything work. And I don't want to be scared, brother. So that's it. I know how to do this. And I was in prison where I knew nobody. Period. And I went in there, I ain't in no game. I've always been a player. That's balls, so when I was in there and they asked me, do you want to be in a game? And them dudes went in there with no shirts on. Oh, no, brother. I don't go nowhere with no dudes with no shirts on. And I don't care what y'all got going on in there. That ain't going to be a part of me. But I had to be a player and know how to tell it to him. He said, man, listen, we having a meeting in the broom closet. I said, well, let me tell you something first off, homie. I'm a player. I don't go nowhere with nobody with no shirts on, man. I'll holler at y'all on the yard, man. He said, all right, that's what's up. So that's knowing how to carry yourself. Because you can come through there and say, this TV mine, this phone mine. Somebody gonna be sitting back telling me, y'all, he seen something on TV. He thought he had to come here and be tough. He don't even really know he promoting to be homosexual. So this is why I tell people, always look at the people that's before you and see what they done and see how did they make it. Right. When you in Chicago, it's a battle already. So that's why when anybody from Chicago go to any jail or have any story to tell, people sit around like you, like the greatest storyteller ever.
They want to hear it.
They want to hear it because they know there's no line to this. Right. And then one thing about jail, just like Mike F said, when people come in jail, they always talk about, man, they took everything, man, everything. I was out there rolling. No, from Chicago? Nah, we know you, brother. Nah, Where you say you was from? Nah, brother. That ain't. We know everybody over there. You was no part of that.
None of that.
And now since you lying,
come here.
Nuh-uh, not even come here. Somebody that's tough on our side gonna say, man, buddy, he ain't. Oh, that's cool. I just wanted to know They running in this room. He ain't got no help, and now everybody gonna sit out there and be like, but he just said he was getting all his money and he was tough, so he didn't need our help. Right. Examples have to be made. That's why the shorties that's doing what they doing, they go to jail. They got to go there. This is what you fighting for, homie. Right. You gonna have to live on them words when you go in there. You talking about your block, your homie. They said something about it. Now it's gonna be somebody in there gonna say, fuck your homie.
Right, stand on it now.
Now stand on it.
Stand on it.
He gonna play gay to get off that unit.
See, I'm realistic.
Go ahead, sure.
And I believe majority of people here. These cliques out here, everybody in there don't really want to be right there.
Nope.
They know they got something else they can be doing, but they just running because it's nothing for them to do. You know what I'm saying? Right. Them the ones I'm trying to catch first. Them the ones I want to talk to, because once you grab them and you show them something positive and they start doing something positive, guess what?
They're an example to others.
They're gonna be an example to the other one, and you're gonna catch one of them and come and say, hey, I'm ready.
But that's why you short. Right. You the only person got patience for that, short.
But you gotta
You do.
But that's what I was saying about the coalition, though, and these spaces, because we don't have to expend a lot of time. Look what we're doing. We create content, which is a message, which is directions, which is insight, which is history, and we can put it on a platform, and you can get it if you don't get it.
They just not. I understand that too. They not just gonna get it because we sitting right here.
Right. I'm just saying that we
actually got to show.
And
we actually got to get out.
Yeah, we got to be doing it at the same time.
Right.
All the young ones used to come in there. They done heard the story. Oh, that's short. He cool, but don't get on his bad side. Mm-hmm. Or he cool, but if you on this, stay over here. You know what I'm saying? And eventually they come and talk to me because I'm going to talk to you on whatever level. Mm-hmm. You know, and when I mean by whatever level, I'm talking about if you having issues with your girlfriend, I can talk to you about that because I got experience. Mm-hmm. If you having, this person ain't doing whatever, I got some experience. I'm going to talk to you and try to get your mind straight so you can focus and not do something that you're going to regret while you're already in the situation. Right. Mm-hmm. A lot of dudes come in there with anger. Mm-hmm. That ain't how you do your time. Mm-mm. You going to leave back out here. You got to take time. And the good thing about if you out here in these streets right now, you got to take that time. Find time to just, man, do I want to continue doing it? What's calling them just got bumped. Oh man, they facing that much time. Think about them consequences.
Cause they real.
Yeah, it's always some type. It's always a consequence.
Yes, it is. But see, they don't see that. That's what emotional people do. Right. They would crash out. And then they once they get behind that wall and they in that room crying, and then when them doors crack, they had to straighten up and go out there, and it really be they scared is the reason why they did what they did to another person, thinking if I do this with them, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to me. So that's what make them join cliques and get in there, and that's how a lot of those DC boys catch on to them too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I always tell people, man, listen. Pay attention to the people that's around you, brother. And that's why I did. I already knew, all right, he got money this way. He ain't had no mysterious lifestyle. Like, most people got money one way, and then when you read they paperwork, you didn't know he was into what he was into. You like, damn, he was doing all that? Mm-hmm. I thought he was a cool dude. That's why most people don't even know half the people they're around is really weird. So that's the other part. Right. Then when you get with people, you gotta learn how to read people. Don't use these old quotes, discernment and all that. No, brother, it's beyond that because a person can trick you. Right. You can be tricked. We human. We are human. I've been tricked by people. I'm not exempt. So you gotta now know what you had to go through to see that type of person. So when you see that type of person and you see the characteristics, because characteristics don't lie, they gonna be the same.
Next time you see it, you know what it is.
Now you know what it is. But these shorties not putting themselves around wisdom to become wise. They putting themselves around drama to be emotional. That's it. And that's what all they do. Smoke that weed. I remember when people smoked weed back in our day, they smoked weed with a broad and they ended their day with that broad. Yes. Ain't no riding around with a gang of dudes hotboxing in the car. No, they had her in the car listening to some Keith Sweat or something going slow on Lakeshore Drive. Right. Now it's a gang of them in a car with limousine tinted windows around the whole car, choppers and weed. Right. Man, it's crazy.